Hi, I am Adrien Guilloré. I'm a research assistant and a PhD candidate at the chair of wind energy of the Technical University of Munich. Together with some colleagues at TU Munich, as well as with partners of the SUDOCO project, I'm involved in various activities, which is developing new research for models for modeling the flow inside wind farm, for modeling the operation as well as the loads, and also modeling the integration of a wind power plant inside the system for CO2 displacements. One main activity that we are conducting as part of SUDOCO is that we want to estimate the potential CO2 displacements thanks to wind energy. And this is a very interesting but also very challenging topic because the CO2 displacements, they depend on a lot of external parameters, which is much broader than the wind farm itself, because it depends on the whole electrical grid. So this is quite a challenging topic because it's very multidisciplinary. And we want to be able to build a model which can incorporate all of these various parameters into it. So basically, we want to understand what are the relevant parameters that we need to know in order to correctly assess the CO2 displacements of wind energy. And we need to manage to build a simple but accurate model for this in order to maximize the value of wind energy in an accurate way. So yes, artificial intelligence is a very important part of our work and in this project. If we use artificial intelligence, we can use some historical data and understand some parameters in order to be able to predict what will happen in the future in terms of CO2 displacement based on some historical data and with some tools of AI. So it's a very powerful tool in order to build a model, a simple model, but at the same time very accurate, because as long as the machine will have learned about it, the AI will allow to predict these quantities of CO2 displacements. So yes, as I said, we are very involved in developing this sub-model, which is the CO2 displacement of wind energy. And this is only a subtask that will enter into the control room of the future of the SUDOCO project. Because in the control room of the future, we want to control wind farm operation, not only based on maximizing the power output, but based on multidisciplinary objectives. So it could be like maximize the power while saving the structural loads in order to save the lifetime, or it could be to produce when this is the best adequate due to the electrical grid, or in the specific case of our model that we will predict how are the CO2 displacements depending on location and time. It will enter into the control room of the future so that the wind farm operator can know when is it best to produce in order to alleviate maximum CO2 on the electrical grid, which again can come up with some social benefits, as well as winning some bids if we can show that the wind farm will save maximum CO2 displacements. So as I mentioned, our core activity that we try to push at the Technical University of Munich is that we want to consider the life cycle assessment and CO2 of wind energy, and as well as maximizing the displacement of CO2 due to electricity generation by maximizing the value of wind energy. So in this way, as I said, we try to minimize the CO2 impact of a wind farm by trying to design a certain wind farm or operate with the maximum energy production and on the other side minimum material usage. So in this way, it's reducing the carbon footprint of wind energy. While on the other side, the model we try to develop will push that wind energy can displace the maximum possible CO2 on the electrical grid, which also help that wind energy in the future will push more toward net zero electrical grid system.